transformation is an operation that maps the original geometric figure, the pre-image, onto a new figure called the image. A lot of people mix this up. The figure that you start with is called the pre-image. The figure after you move it is called the image. A translation slides a figure from one position to another without turning it. Without turning it. When an image is translated, the x-coordinate of the pre-image changes by the value of the movement. Your x-coordinate is what directions? Left or right? If I move it to the left, is that going to be a positive or a negative movement? Negative, bless you. And move it to the right, positive or negative? Positive. The y-coordinate of the pre-image changes by the value of the movement, up or down. Moving it up is what type of movement? Positive, and down is negative. When translating a figure, every point is moved the same distance and direction. The image and pre-image are congruent, meaning same shape, same size. Now you're going to laugh when I tell you this, but this is a real life story. Okay? Same shape, same size. So if your original shape was a triangle and you end up with a rectangle, you screwed up. It's usually the other way around. Somebody ends up with a starts with a quadrilateral, and then their final image is a triangle. You started with 4 vertices. You should end with 4 vertices. That's something simple. Okay? If your triangle is very small to start with, your triangle should be very small to end with, just in a new location. Number 1, graph and label triangle XYZ with those vertices. Then graph the image of XYZ after a translation 2 units left and 3 units down. Write the coordinates of its vertices. Start with this. Plot these points. Label the corners. Draw the triangle. Just start with the original. Plot the XYZ that's given to you. Okay. Now it says translate 2 left and 3 down. So put your pencil on X. I don't even have an A. Find A and then you can do that. Put your pencil on X. Go 2 left and 3 down. Put a dot. What do I label that point? Okay, it's not a 1, but it's a little tick mark, right? It's called prime notation. X prime. X prime. That means after I moved it, this is where I wound up. Go do the same thing to the next 2, to Y and Z. Go 2 left and 3 down. When you're done, your shape should be the same size, same shape. All right, now we got to write the coordinates. X prime is located at -6, -7. Y prime is located -5, -4, right? Is that what you said? And Z prime is located 0, negative what? 5. Good work. One way that you can check yourself with this also is like example number 2. Quadrilateral DEFG has vertices D, E, F, and G. Without graphing, find the vertices of D prime, E prime, F prime, G prime after a translation 4 units right and 5 units down. Without graphing. Okay? If I'm moving 4 units right, is that going to affect my X or my Y?
X.
Your X. A positive or negative? Positive 4. So every single X coordinate, I'm going to have to add 4 to it. And 5 units down affects my Y, positive or negative? Negative. So take your coordinates, add 4 to every X, subtract 5 to every Y, and give me the location of D prime, E prime, F prime, and G prime. Correct me if I'm wrong. D prime, I got 5, negative 5.
Yes.
E prime, 2, negative 7.
Yes.
F prime, 6, negative 1.
Yes.
G prime, 10, negative 8. Yes. Good work. Good work. That's another way you can easily check your graphing. Right? 2 units left and 3 units down. Yes, you can write me the coordinates, but in reality, a way you could double check 2 units left is going to affect X or Y. X, positive or negative? Negative. And 3 units down is going to affect X or Y? Positive or negative? Negative. So really we're subtracting 2 from every X as well as subtracting 3 from every Y. So just another way you can double check. The last piece that you may or may not remember, quadrilateral ABCD has the vertices given, and they are moved to A prime, B prime, C prime, and D prime. They want us to use translation notation to describe the translation that took ABCD to A prime, B prime, C prime, and D prime. Translation notation always has X comma Y with an arrow. Every single time. If your directions say translation notation, you should automatically write X comma Y with an arrow. Now we need to determine what happened to our X and what happened to our Y. So we start comparing. Compare X of A to X of A prime, and X of B to X of B prime, X of C to X of C prime, X of the D to X of D prime. What happened every single time, Jacob? You went up 4. So that's okay. You can say up or right, either direction. So your X value, you need to add 4. Translation notation is just saying, write me the rule. So now look at your Y's. Subtracted 2. Okay, so you write Y minus 2. That entire piece is translation notation. Take your original point, and then you're telling them, add 4 to your X, subtract 2 from your Y. That's all I have for you. Can you handle it? Go to work. Don't forget to take pictures and submit prior to 8 a.m. tomorrow. I'm going to hand out your tests. If you want to log into AlgI to look at them, you're fine. Hey, look at me for 1 minute. I'm going to hand out your tests. Look them over. If you have any questions, feel free. When you're done, put them back in that hand-in box, and then I'll put them away. Cool? All right, go to it. Seconds.